we have a game pause.
Yep, a little bit more suspense here. We have a game pause by MC.
Yep, and looks like he's got some settings he needs to work out. Just starting things off here. No aberrations. They both started their first worker correctly, and there's no... both of them had auto mine on, so they didn't lose any mining or anything like that.
Yeah, there's not going to be a need to rehost the game. MC now signals in the match that he is ready to go.
Yeah,
so it should be resumed in just a second.
And he just had a problem with one of his hotkeys, so he gets a warning, and this warning actually will carry over to his team in the final standings. So this is actually, you know, it doesn't seem like a big deal going into this 1v1, but overall, if he's tied with somebody and they're also tied in indicator, and then he has his team has one more warning because of this, they could actually not make the playoffs. So it is somewhat more of a big deal than it appears, but at the end of the day, it's only if we have this tie situation that it actually matters.
The admin, the former TSL coach here, still talking to the players, and the game is already live at this point. We're jumping in right now, as you can see. In our last match of the day, we have to the bottom left the Terran player for Axiom-Acer. It is
Axiom Young.
Oftentimes called the Tuna Terran in Korea because his Korean name actually is the same name of a tuna company that sells canned tuna.
His opponent is one to not mess around. Starting to the top right, we have the Obama toss, the boss toss. It is, of course,
SKMC.
And we wanted to talk a little bit about MC and his run at MLG, the recent tournament that he participated. He was so successful. He went up to the semi-final where he then lost against Live. And this is, of course, a fate that he shared with every single player that had to face Live in this tournament. But the more important story here is that MC at MLG faced two Terran players. He was up against MVP in the round of 16 in a best of 5. MVP only took a single map against him. And then, in the next round, in the quarterfinals, MC found himself facing Bomber. And Bomber, he advanced yesterday in Code S as the second placed. And we have him losing against MC without taking a single map. Just showcasing how strong MC is these days in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, he is super strong. You never want to underestimate MC. He's one of those players, too, who never hesitates to pull out the aggression card. He can all-in-you do even a cheese build. He's so unpredictable.
Talking about cheese builds or being unpredictable, do you remember these Oracle openings that he used against MVP? That was crazy. I mean, he really showed that he is one to pull off a strategy that nobody has seen so far. And he's such an experienced player with so much confidence. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
This is going to be such a tough battle for Rian.
And MC is someone who also practices a lot. He plays so many games on the ladder. He's a player who also plays custom games, of course, with teammates, but he loves to grind, and he does not often tire of playing the game. It's a game he loves and enjoys, and it shows in his play. Ryung is on a streak, though, and he finds himself at cross positions. If I had to have a prediction for this match, I think that Ryung, because of how this map works and how simple it is for a Pross to take a third, he may do that SCV pull that we've seen on 3 bases. We saw Bomber do it several times yesterday at WCS GSL.
You're right, he might do it. MC, on the other hand, he's a player who is very famous for his 2-base aggression. That might be something that we are going to see from him today. Whatever it is, you can already, I mean, you can be assured that he is going to execute it nearly perfectly.
Ooh, and Stargate. This could be 2 things. It could be Oracles, it could be also a Void Ray all-in, which is much stronger than it used to be in Heart of the Swarm.
This is going to be really interesting right now. Void Rays, of course, and Oracles, a very, very good choice as well. If you go in there, you can basically just destroy an entire worker line.
Yeah. You can destroy someone's hopes and dreams with that Oracle, man. All it takes is one. And I have to say, there's also even a third possibility, which is much rarer. But we could see a Phoenix opening as well, which would really throw Rian off.
So far, both players without a second base here, of course. There comes the Mothership core trying to take out the Scout.
Yeah, and Ryung actually is just playing it safe against MC, and this is going to help him defend this Oracle push a lot because he made his commands there first in the main, and now he's got this ability to just push down here safely and carefully, make the bunker.
The Marines have to stick around here, though. If they are out of position when this Oracle hits, then goodbye worker line.
Yep. If I'm not mistaken, you can kill 4 Marines with an Oracle if all the Marines have full health.
Well, second Oracle is already building. The Oracle is on the way, and the big problem for Ryang is really that he doesn't know what's going on. He hasn't seen anything.
Yeah, he's very focused on the front where the Stalkers have been shown, and this is going to really throw him for a curveball when that Oracle shows up in the main. He's going to have to walk so far.
Warp the ramp. That's something that he could do.
Oh, absolutely. I think he definitely will. There's not a doubt in my mind. And he's just continuing to distract him at the front with these Stalkers. He needs to pull them back, though.
The Oracle is there.
It's ready. And he's moving across. The second Oracle is on the way. And he doesn't show the Oracle. He's going to show the Time Warp first.
He's moving in, just showing the Mothership Core. Nothing. Did he spot it?
You know, I don't know. It's hard to say.
There comes the second Oracle.
But with the second Oracle, he could actually fight this, maybe.
He has also the third one on his way, Wolf.
He will need some of the Stalkers' help, though. I don't think he can fight that many Marines with this.
A very, very similar opening, the one that he used against MVP at MLG.
Yep, he's adding 3 more gates right now with his Nexus. He has a really nice time he can follow this up with.
And now
are done.
Missile turrets are coming in to play right now. We have Ryang really sitting there, and he knows something up. He knows something is coming here.
Yeah, and this is not going to work. He cannot do any damage at the natural. Now the missile turret in the main base has that defense is possible there. It's going to be very difficult to use these Oracles for SV harassment.
Yeah, when you are up against MC, you don't want to take unnecessary risks.
Yeah, you leave nothing to chance against MC. He is the boss toss for a reason. I mean, MC has invested a lot into these 3 Oracles, but they're going to be useful later, even though he has not used them for any economic damage. He could hit those Marines with the Revolution ability and then know exactly where they are at any given time.
Exactly. The Relation is still a skill that is not used a lot. It's sometimes used, especially when a Protoss is facing a Zerg player.
Yes.
You've seen it a little bit more often, but against Terran, something that you don't see all the time.
Yeah, when you're the one who's the aggressor too, it's not as useful to know where your opponent's army is as it is when he is being the aggressive one. Oracle's just continuing to patrol around, looking for openings, making sure there's no medevacs coming out. For example, if he spots a medevac, yeah, the Oracle can't kill the medevac, but it can reveal it so that MC can find out exactly where it's coming from. Twilight Council goes down.
And we still have MC just trying to poke a little bit, just trying to move in here occasionally, finding an opening and maybe a chance to do damage here. He's really the one who puts on the aggression, but now suddenly here comes the stim and all those Stalkers are gone. Well played, sir.
He wants to fight here. Those Marines are low on hit points and Stim's about to run out. If he Stims again, he loses too much more. That was really well done by MC. Makes the best of a bad situation.
Yep. At least he takes on a few of those Marines. It was definitely an opening that he had and he took it. You need to just trade, and losing the Stalkers was already a big deal for him.
Yeah. The Forge is coming up a bit late. Already +1 out for Ryang, and +1 armor comes out not only by itself, but with +2 joined. So MC is going to have quite the upgrade deficit going into this game. Uh-oh. He reveals them.
Yeah. Now we have it, so now he cannot really blindside him again. And Revelation is actually like a really, really cool spell.
It's so underused too, which is surprising because it has so many uses for spotting aggression.
Yeah. It actually lasts for an entire minute, which is a lot in a game like this. On the other hand, it costs 75 energy, which is quite a bit.
Yeah, you never want to be using it at the same time as you're using your Oracles to attack. It costs too much energy there.
In this case, it worked out so well because he didn't want to stick around any longer. He just wanted to go back with the Oracle, save them for later, so he might as well, you know.
And now he knows these Marines are moving out, and they don't only reveal themselves, but they also show the Mirage. He gets a second reveal off.
Yeah, another minute now that he has vision, especially on those Medivacs, which is even more important, so drop play is not going to be a problem.
Yeah, and he really wants to be able to see the potential Hellbat drops that are going to come out with this. He continues to make Hellbats. We're going to see him add Hellbats into his biocomposition to help deal with the charged Zealots.
Yep. And those guys are really good, especially against the light armored units that we have here. So at this point, MC is going into the robotic space, even more gateways being added, going for the Blink Nerd now.
Yep. And he just continue to use these Oracles for vision. He's going to come and hit the Revelation again. I don't know about this. Well, he does actually manage to pick it off and goes for another reveal, hitting all 4 medevacs most critically.
I really love how he's using it. I mean, we're talking about it a little bit how it's still an underused spell, but MC in this game really showcases how you can use it to always know about your opponent's unit movements and therefore having the control about what's going on the map.
Yeah. You know, it's like if I made an ad for that spell, I'd be like, what if you never had to worry about a medevac drop again? Because that's basically how it is. If you hit all those medevacs, you don't have to worry.
I'm buying 2.
Well, MC even got 3 man.
He certainly did.
Still hasn't lost them either. He's been able to keep them alive while maintaining all the vision with the Observer, the reveals. He's going to even be able to reveal these right now. There's no anti-air here.
Oh my god, this is perfect. Takes out 1, 2. That was close. He nearly killed 3, but he only took down 1. He changed target a bit too soon.
His control is in God mode right now. Just not losing a single one of those oracles, forcing another stim, weakening Ryung's hit points.
But Ryung is on 2-2 upgrades. Actually, he's on 2-1, and he's moving in right now with a slight supply lead. So this is a very, very dangerous attack, and MC has to be careful. He already has the first Colossus out, which is going to help him quite a bit. But still, he should not... MC, that is, underestimate the Terran force that is heading his way.
Oh, Oracle's getting a little bit out of position here, but he does save them again somehow. How does he do it? Hellbat's at the front.
Here come those force fields. Immediately the Oracles are moving in again, doing quite a lot of damage, and this one Colossus is doing so much for him.
It's so important with the Zealots warping in at the back. You can actually cut them off, and the force fields trap everything in a donut.
We still have Ryung going strong here. He has a supply lead, trying to bring the reinforcements in here, but MC is going to win this battle.
Yep, he certainly will, and he can blink and chase the Minivacs again. He could also reveal them if he has enough energy on that Oracle. One Marauder doing a lot.
Yeah, the one Marauder taking out another sentry. That was really important here. MC is still down in supply.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a third base. Ryung does. Yeah. And his upgrades are never going to slow down. He's just hitting them right away.
Yeah. MC might have won the battle, but he did not won the war yet.
Yeah. He's going to need a third Nexus, or he's going to need to hit some sort of very aggressive timing here before the Vikings start to stack up too much, because he did save his Colossi.
And talking about the Vikings, we now also have a second starport being built and the +1 attack upgrade being researched. So Colossi will struggle a lot against this force that we can expect to be put out on the map in a few seconds here for Ryung.
Yep. No upgrade for the Hellbats, so the Hellbats just going to maintain their base damage against the Zealots. He could get plating later on to affect both the Vikings and the Hellbats going forward. And, you know, the third base being late here for MC is just his biggest problem, and he doesn't have an army that is confident enough to move out and kill this.
Okay, I have to say, do you see when those Hellbats actually walk upwards so you can see them from behind?
Yeah.
It always looks a little bit like they are units that just put in their pants. Have another look the next time they walk. I'm completely serious. It's like the legs spread to the left and to the right, and it really looks like they're like a toddler that just put in his pants.
Yeah, he needs a diaper change. I want to see it now, but I mean, I do, but I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, once you've seen it, you can't really unsee it. I feel, but I felt I should share it. And
you just ruined Hellbats for so many Terran players out there.
I think that's completely okay.
Well, they've ruined many a ladder game for me.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah. Wait until they walk. You'll see it.
Well, Temple Archives comes down. MC's making the switch. He starts Immortal production so that he can, you know, still utilize his robotics and have tough ground units coming out to bolster his force.
The upgrades are just going to be so good for Ryung. This is one of the biggest problems. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see that.
When you zoom in, it's even more transparent. But like, this is like, I don't know. Might be me.
They look like they're walking on stilts or something to me. It looks a little bit robotic. But of course, they're a transformed car, so...
Well, right now what we have is once again Ryung with the aggression moving in at 180 supply, 90 actually, and the upgrades are the biggest problems. +3 attack is already done. MC is trying to get his second armor upgrade in, which is already completed for Ryung. The Terran player really putting on the moves here.
Now, Mothership Core gets sniped. This means no Photon overcharge for that Nexus. Good force fields to buy MC time, but he needs more than time. He needs Storm, and he just cannot. He cannot afford it. Even if he started it, wouldn't be ready in time.
And here we go again. Once again, the Sim is trying to move in here, baiting those out, and now the Vikings are taking down Colossus after Colossus.
Nice split. The Zealots coming in here. They don't have that armor upgrade just yet. The last Colossus looks like it will survive a little bit longer. Finally taken down.
Ryung is suddenly up at 60 supply, 70 supply. He's moving in with another Stim, getting all those Archons and chasing down the rest of the Gateway army.
The boss toss may find himself outbossed here as the Bioforce Stims yet again. There's not enough Zealots. They're cleaned up, and the Nexus is likely to fall very shortly here.
Axiom-Acer, how are they doing it? This is incredible play. Once again, they were behind. Once again, they bounced back, and they are on the verge of winning this team match.
Nope, this is it. GG! Axiom-Acer wins.
Unbelievable.
Boss toss is smacked down.
The choice to send Ryung out, it was the right one. A lot of people in the chats, in the forums, they've been doubting the choice to send him out over MMA. But he lived up to the expectations. He pulls off the double kill, wins the game for Axiom-Acer. What an incredible performance here. Congratulations.
Just never a moment of fear or hesitation against those oracles. And he knew once he was revealed, he didn't try to drop. He was like, well, okay, you know my every move, so I'm not even going to try it.
He played so safe.
Yeah, he really did. He didn't even try to go for a single drop. He just sat back, waited until he had the proper army. He had a massive upgrade lead, something that he could deduce by scouting. He kept scanning. This is something I want to point out in that game. He kept scanning over and over and over again to see the upgrades. I think he just knew, I've got an opportunity here. My third base is up for longer, and I'm going to take it. And MC just did not have the firepower he needed.
That was MC after the MLG performance against Talon players. He looked like the answer that they needed to take down Ryung. But now it is once again Axiom-Acer, the team that prevails in the team match. They are undefeated so far, 2 wins.
Yep. And LGIM had a great start going into the series, into the season. But now they're going to have to kind of buck up a little bit and get ready for their next match, because this is when things start to really form over the next few weeks. It's going to be decided who will go to the playoffs. And LGIM looked almost invincible in their previous match, but now you could see that there are holes in the armor.
Exactly. It started with Scarlet taking down MVP, and now we have in the last game Ryung triumphing over MC, over the boss toss. A great performance here by the team, and once again I really have to say this was a team effort.
Yeah, it was. You know, the thing is, there's only 6 players on that bench right now, but when 4 of the 6 come out, they all work together, they plan together, they train together, they're in that house, and it's just such an amazing story. Out of all the teams, let's think about this, out of all the teams who have joined the GSTL in their first season, they have done the best. You know, if you look at F United or Team Liquid when they played, they did not have the results that this team is putting out right now, especially on such short notice being in Korea, moving everybody to that house.
We're having an interview, of course, now with Axiom-Acer at first, Krang being a representative for the team. Let's hear what he has to say about the win today. I must be really happy.
LGIM 상대로 너무 좋지 않은 경기력으로 패해가지고 그때부터 선수들이 많이 힘들어하는 경향도 있고 각자 대회에서
So every season basically they are meeting LGIM, but they didn't perform very well against them the last time. That's what he's saying here.
다 극복한 것 같아서 굉장히 기분 좋습니다.
네, 그렇습니다.
He thinks that they gained a lot of confidence, especially after the last match that they played against Team MVP. And I would certainly agree with him. I mean, showed today.
자, 오늘도 아주 어렵게
They said that in the first time that they played in the preseason, they were very nervous, and that is definitely a thing of the past.
선수겸 코치겠죠. 앞으로 우리 엑시엄에이서 어떻게 기대하면 좋을까요? 팬 여러분들께 한 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
Just asking if there are any comments to the fans.
아무리 그 외국 팀이고 각자 조금 자유로운 경향이 있어 보이는 게 사실이긴 하지만 저희가 다른 팀 못지않게 너무 열심히 연습하고 GSTL 우승을 위해서 최대 많은 노력을 기울이고 있기 때문에.
He says that their team is basically a foreign team, that they still have a lot of freedom compared to other teams here in Korea. They are still practicing very hard at the team house, and they hope that the fans are looking forward to their next matches here at the GSTL.
And it's time to talk to the MVP, which of course is Ryung.
네, 좋아요.
얼마큼
Feels
좋으세요?
good. 일단 예상치도 못하게 이 길이나 해서 좋고요.
네.
마무리로 나갈 거라고 생각은 했는데
He didn't really predict he would be able to kill 2 players today.
스코어를 따라가고 지더라도 그냥
He was
스코어만
very
따라가고
happy to get
지자고
the win.
생각했는데 이렇게 생각지도 못하게 이겨가지고 신기해요.
그래요. 자, 스코어만 따라가자라는 말이라면
He just wanted to get closer, like, you know, he wanted to even up the scores. He wasn't thinking like he could win it for the team. He was hoping, all right, well, I can make the score better, you know, make our indicator better, but it ended up being that he won. He was very happy about that.
He performed well.
Really, really nice play from him. He really shut down the doubters out there.
It was very smart play, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, so many innovative things in this play. I really like him adding the Hellbats, for example.
1위 하고 있다는 것도 좀 믿기지 않는데 앞으로 좀 저희가 초반에 강팀이랑 많이 하더라고요.
That they're ranked in first place right now.
나머지 강팀을
because they only have a few players on their roster. You know, they don't have as much depth as some of the other
그리고
teams.
종범이 형이 좀 우리가 결승 가는 데 있어서 1승이라도 했으면 제가 그보다 더 좋을
He
수
hopes
없을 것
that
같아요.
네.
Mia can
패배를 한
get at least one
전종범
win
선수 워낙에 또 이제 신문
before the season ends.
전종범 선수의 그 팀에서의
that was so mean.
어떻습니까? 상당히 뭐 성격도 좋고 사실 실력도 출중한데
Nice banter going on there.
Yeah,
안타까워했던 것 같아요 팀원들이.
Smeagol's gonna have to find his one ring.
보시는 그대로 저희한테 연습 때 잘하긴 하는데 막 그렇게 잘하진 않고
When they
그냥 잘하긴 해요.
practice
근데 좀 말도 많고
against
해가지고
Mia,
저희가
he does
연습하는데
well against him, but not that well.
GSL 볼 때면 해설자분들보다 말 더 많이 하니까
네.
He's
제가 그거 좀
he's
힘들어가지고
really a little bit annoying when they're practicing.
말하면 좀 고쳐주지 않아요.
Yeah, he's just jokingly saying he's having a hard time because of Mia.
You know, this kind of reflects what Scarlett was saying, that Mia is doing so well in the team house, but yeah, here he's struggling a little bit.
김동건 선수가 워낙에 포카포이스다 보니까 직구준
He's
말과
just hoping, in all honesty, that his teammate can get the confidence to perform better going forward with these team
느낌이었습니다.
오늘
matches.
이제 패해서 그렇게 조금 기분이 좋지 않은데
Yeah, it seems to be like a little bit of a nerve issue here that he still has.
Yeah,
So
we talked about it today, even before he came out.
exactly. I mean, this is one of the things where the team says he is really good at his team house. He's strong. We learn a lot playing with him. And now here at the GSTL, he couldn't perform as well just yet. And of course, all the banter aside, they really want to make sure that Mia is getting into an environment here where he feels confident playing in the booth and then takes his wins this season.
I have to cough, I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. Yeah,
I've got something in my throat today for some reason. All day I've had like something going on back there. Like I don't think I'm allergic to anything, but I'm starting to wonder. I mean, it's getting warmer outside. Maybe we're gonna have some pollen around here soon.
maybe being allergic to the absence of hair.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't think so.
That would be bad for our combination.
I'm
here.
pretty used to it at this point.
Okay. 4-3, that's the score today. There you can see how it went down. A lot of good games that we had today. Really exciting matches, especially Scarlett versus MVP and Scarlett Yoda. Two really good games that we've seen.
Yeah, the final match there was quite epic. I mean, it had an anticlimactic ending, you might argue, but the openings that we saw from both players and how they collided through that mid-game was so interesting to watch.
Yeah. This is our fifth game in the GSTL this season, the second game for Axiom-Acer. They are now leading the ranking with 2 wins, not a single loss, and a score of, I think, +3. You should see that in just a few seconds.
Yeah, and you'll get to see the entire list of who's where. You can see that Azubu and Esosa both being all killed.
Oh, they're +2, yeah, of course. They played 4-3 2 times.
Right. Esosa and Azubu at the bottom at -4, so they have a lot of catching up to do. And
yeah.
Epic's Open, surprisingly, this season, not with the strongest result they've ever had. They're in 6th currently.
Yeah, currently in 6th, but of course they only played 1 match so far, so we're just at the beginning of the season. We'll point it out earlier. This is just the beginning. We have a round-robin system this time with 8 teams playing in here, and this is going to be very, very exciting. I mean, it already started.
Yep. It's looking good. Now, for your information, tomorrow we will have MVP versus Epic's Open, a team match that I feel has a little bit of a story to it. There's almost like a rivalry between these two players.
And also both teams lost in their first match, which is really important here. You don't want to trail behind in the team league with 2 losses, so really important here to not only get the points in the matches, but also get this important win in the overall score.
You don't want to fall back to last place, which will happen to whichever team loses tomorrow. So it has a bit of finality to it. Obviously, even if they lose tomorrow, they can still win the rest of their matches and get into that playoff spot, but your team morale will be affected by seeing your team in last place.
Definitely. So once again, we have the next game tomorrow. It's a little bit earlier at 1 p.m. KST, so make sure that you tune in about 5 hours earlier than you did today. Today we had a great match between LGIM and Axiom-Acer. I hope that you enjoyed the games. This is for us today, and we'll see you tomorrow with the next match here at the GSTL Season 1 2013. Bye-bye.
4 years, 4 kids later down the line. My progression is my profession. I'm doing shows with a 9. My mama's trying to kick in. My sister, she doing fine. And I'm making my way through life, no longer blinded. Wait, a minor setback that's supposed to be friend of mine. Emptied the clip on me one night when the friendly fight turned personal. Guess he wasn't my friend after all. After a brawl, hit me 3 times and I wouldn't fall. Made it through with a blessing. Karma with no confession. Believing my body armor is made of fate from the heavens. Flipped over 5 times in the van without a belt on me. Escape without a scratch. Don't know what the Lord has prepared for me. Just